everyone. Welcome to God, Sex, and Love. It's your girl, Miracle Sins. And tonight we're going to be chatting with Miss Mandi Nuttal. She's an author and a mother, and she has a very, very powerful book that she wants to share with us tonight. So if you're ready for this, then stay tuned. Welcome back to God, Sex, and Love. As you all may know, I am here with Miss Mandi Nuttal. Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. Welcome to God, Sex, and Love.
Thank you.
So, I know that you're an author, but I know you want to share a lot of things with us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I am a mother of 5 little kids. I guess they're getting bigger. My oldest is almost as tall as me. I'm 6 feet tall and he's huge. He's 13. But that when I introduce myself, that's basically what comes to mind first. I am a mother, and that is so much of my life. I used to be a photographer. I used to be an athlete. Those are some things kind of in my past, but right now I take care of these children and I teach my children. That is my biggest purpose right now.
I commend you on that, because I know not a lot of parents can, actually, teach their kids and stuff. We send them off to school and whatnot. So it sounds like you homeschool and everything like that as well.
Oh, I wish I was that wonderful. No, I tried that last year. That did not go very well. No, I send my kids off, but man, when they are home, I am all on them. There's so much that we have to teach them, not just about like my topic, their bodies, but my focus is my family for sure.
Well, that's great as well. I definitely, it's something that I'm kind of debating about because, I'm just getting started in the mom game. You've been doing this for a while, but, I have a 2-year-old. He'll be 3 in a couple of days. And, so I'm getting started here and I'm trying to decide when hearing all the things that's going on in the school and whatnot, I'm just like, ooh, what are we going to do here?
Yep.
I'm going to be taking notes today. You got 5 children here, so I know you can have some wisdom to bestow on me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to hearing that today. But I understand there's nothing wrong with, you say, your children are your life right now. You are a mom first and foremost. And I guess that's one of the things as women, I know, girl, I don't know why. I'm about to say, don't get me started on this because it's one of those things that's kind of touchy because sometimes when women are in business and things like that, they don't necessarily look at motherhood as this thing where I don't know if we're not seeing the value of being mothers. I don't know what's going on, but something like that is happening. And so again, with you valuing motherhood and everything like that, like I said, I commend you. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you. It is important. It is important.
Very, very much so. I know that we've had several conversations on GSL, and it kind of always goes back to parenting. Like a lot of different topics and different things that we discuss, it all kind of goes back to that. So when it comes to this whole parenting thing and your books and everything like that, I know you said you had a lot to teach kids, and I know it is. But you have a very, very important topic that I would love to touch on for a moment at least. So tell us about your book.
All right. Well, it launches in a couple of weeks. It's called The Birthday Suit Book 1, and it's yearly guides to easily teach your children ages 1 to 9 about their body and sex. So this first book is only for ages 1 through 9, and the second book is for 10 through 18. But how this book came about, I heard someone once say, if someone asks you the same question at least 5 times, you should probably write a book on it. And I've had many parents say, Mandi, how do I teach my kids about sex? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. When do I say it? What do I show them? All these things. And I've always been so excited to teach my kids about this. I know it's weird. That's not a normal thing, right?
Nothing wrong with that, though. We have to kind of tackle that. I believe, especially as Christians as well, but we have to tackle this subject. Is very important because what we don't teach, they're going to learn somewhere else. And so
Exactly.
I think you writing this book is going to help a lot of people. And yeah, let's hear more about it. So what's going
Yeah.
on?
Okay. Well, let me tell you a few more things. So
Yeah.
when I was starting to figure out how I was going to teach my kids, what was I going to say, I realized most people think the sex talk is like the big sex talk. Like it's one big time and you sit down, you do it, you're like, whew, check that off. I did that. Um, as I was creating this, I realized this cannot be a one time. It needs to be frequently. And so I've designed lesson plans for each year of your child's life from 1, 2, 3, 4, each year so they can come back, build on the material. So when you do have the big talks, that it makes sense. They have a foundation. They know what the vocabulary is, which is huge to understand things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a yearly lesson for parents. And in that lesson, I used to be a high school health teacher. So I created a full lesson plan that's easy to follow, say this, then do this activity, then show them this picture. So it's so simple for parents to
Yeah.
teach. And I was very, very adamant that this wouldn't be inclusive to a certain type of family, that it would be open to all types of families. So I haven't included any religious or political or opinions. It's just the facts. And then the open-ended questions that parents discuss with their kids, they can add in their family values and their beliefs. So it's not me putting, my opinions on people. It's just, here's the facts. Please teach them and please have an open discussion with your children.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Because again, not only because it's important, but if it's done in a way where it can really just break things down, hopefully make things simple, like not having to stress about, okay, what do I do? It's all there for you. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation with people, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna have to teach my son as soon as he understands. And so, but you've already done that for me now. You've done it from the age 1 to 18, you said?
Yep.
I mean, that's gonna sum up everything, I think. Now, I don't know what's in your book, but that sounds like it's gonna cover a lot. And God bless you, man. Like that's gonna help. I think that's really gonna help.
Thank you. Thank you. It has definitely been an inspired process. I'm not going to lie. This is not just me. I have definitely felt inspired in everything that I've done with this book, from the content to the pictures. This was a huge thing for me. Is I wanted to teach my children anatomy. I took many anatomy classes in college, and I loved them. I loved learning about the body. But when you try to find an anatomy book for children, it's difficult. You either have these cartoon, bubbly, weird characters, and it's interesting. Like if you really try, it's hard. And I couldn't find what I wanted to use to teach my kids. And so I would use this big, huge, fat anatomy book that I got from Costco, this beautiful, full colored book. But I mean, there's so much detail in there, and they don't need all those tiny little intricate details. But I wanted something that looked like a picture of human anatomy, of genitals. And as a child, because they don't need to see adult genitals, they need to see a child. And that is you have to be careful.
Yeah.
So in working with my artists, it took a long time, but I just wanted a simple, beautiful, tactful anatomy of children that they can look at, and you can say, here, look, this is how you look. This is how you wipe here, like just showing them everything. So, it was really, it was a very careful process to get the pictures. And then with the pictures, growing up, when I looked at anatomy, I only saw one type of a body, or one type of the skin color of a body. And I wanted children to be able to see all different anatomy colors. So I've included all skin tones, light, dark, brown, black, freckled even. I wanted to open up conversations with parents, and this isn't just like the face, this is, genital anatomy. I wanted to have different skin colors so that they can, open up that conversation with families.
What I mean, again, God bless you, man. Like I don't even know what else to say. I'm like, honestly, the things that kind of popped in my mind as you were talking is that's huge right now. Like, I'm sure you already know, but I've heard several debates about like parents are in the schools like, hey, what's going on with this information that you're teaching our kids? And and stuff like that. So I think like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like you said, like breaking things down in a way where it's like, okay, child, this is what's going on. Like, this is you look like this or whatever case. I think that's great. Now I don't know what's in your book, but I know people are kind of touchy about like what people are putting in these books for kids now, and whatnot. Because it's like they're going beyond, from what I'm understanding. I haven't seen it myself, but I don't know. Do you go that deep with it, or is it just so like just the basics, like you said, the facts of?
It's the basic facts. It's physiology and anatomy.
Mm.
As far as different topics, I will have a question to be prompted for the parents to ask to discuss, but it's just learning the basic anatomy and physiology. That is important to understand sex, because I think the biggest holdup with parents is when we think about teaching sex to our children, we have all of our ideas of sex, which is the emotion, the past history or trauma, and all those things. Kids, this is not what they need to know about sex. They need to know the basic principle, which sex is truly the act of creating life. That's what the basics of sex are. And so when you break it down to that, it makes it fun and exciting, because the creation of life is amazing, right?
It really is. Like, like I just said, I had my experience, I guess, a couple of years ago with, having my son. And obviously it's a whole different thing to like live through it than to like I watched my sister, she had her child before me. So I watched her and everything, but to actually experience, him in my womb and all those different processes was an amazing thing. And even now, I say it often on the podcast version of this, I'm just like, man, I look at him and think like, man, if things didn't happen when it did, and if I didn't make certain choices, you would not even be here. That blows my mind. That
the whole process is a miracle. It is.
It is. It really is. It really, really is. Now, okay. So there was something that crossed my mind. I think I forgot it, but again, so I'm sure, obviously, certain talk is more detailed when it comes to your second book and the older children versus the younger ones and everything. I love that you're saying that it's about the basis of the creation of life, because that brought me back to my type. Thank God. Because I spoke with a friend of mine who's a teacher not long ago. I want to say maybe whenever it was. I spoke with her, and she was telling me that they're no longer teaching the kids about like how not say how babies are made, but like they're about the life aspect of sex. Like they're not teaching them that. And I was confused. I was very confused. And I was like, I remember health class. Like I remember learning about the different parts of the body. It was very clear that this is how, babies are made and all these different things. Like what else could they be teaching them if they're not teaching them that, So, I mean, you say you were in school, you did the health thing. Like how long ago was that when you were a health teacher and everything?
Oh, goodness. It was before my oldest was born. So it was about 13 years ago. So like a completely different world than now. But there's one thing that I know for sure about what they're teaching in schools now versus what we're teaching at home. As parents, what they teach in school will be irrelevant if it is first taught and discussed and, indoctrinated at home. Like we can be as upset as we want about what they teach at school, but that's out of our control. We cannot control that. What we can control is what they learn at home. And it's got to be taught before what they learn in school. And that's happening earlier and earlier, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. And again, and that's why I would say what I would say. I'll be like, man, with everything that's going on, I'm like, as soon as he understands, like, and he's understanding things now at 3, but there's still things where it's like, do you know what you're talking about yet? I don't know. Because sometimes we're talking like regular, like, and I'm like, so you really understand? You don't understand what's going on. But I do feel like I'm have to get a leg up. I have to, because there's just so much going on that it's like I really wouldn't want him to be exposed to any other ideas other than what I would want to see, at least first. Yeah. What I'm saying, like first. And then, again, if he's exposed to this stuff afterwards, like you say, then it will be something that he's like familiar with, or like, oh, okay, well, my mommy already taught me about that, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like that's what I would hope.
Yeah. Man. If they hear it first from you and they hear something contradictory, they're going to come to you and say, hey, wait, that wasn't right, Mom. This is what we talked about before. So it's critical. And we can't, as parents, I hear so many parents getting so upset about what they're teaching in schools, which is a valid concern. We want our children to be taught, in a sweet, thoughtful way. And I feel like so many of the things that are happening, we can't control that. But honestly, I have some children in public school and I wish things were different, but I can't change that. I can change what I do, and I can teach them correct principles and correct basic facts at home. So we've got to stay in control and unemotional about what we teach at home and not get so caught up in what's happening outside.
I'm with you. Definitely, we have to do that. We have to take that time with our children to, like you said, teach those values, teach those things that we want them to know. And again, this is a beautiful thing that you've done to help with that. So, man, we have to look you up. We have to put
please do
out there. Yeah, have to look her up and everything, y'all. Do you have a website? If you want to go ahead and just shout it out.
Absolutely, yeah. thebirthdaysuitbooks.com. So that will be there in a few weeks. You can get your first copy of the book, as well as the Family Values Journal, which is a journal that goes along with all the values that we talk about in the book that I don't share, because I'm not going to share my family values, but with each one of the prompts, things that are more of, cultural or your family beliefs, those need to be written down by the parents. And this journal is accompanying the book, so the kids can have your family values written down in their own journal. I mean, there's a lot of power that comes from having your values written down, instead of just like, oh, by the way, don't do that. Write them down, give them to your child so they can see these. And I know he's only 3 and you can write them down for him, but he's going to get older, and and it happens fast. It's crazy how fast it happens. So write them down, build upon it year upon year. And as they get older and they can read, they're going to have this journal to look back on, to know this is what my family believes.
Yes, that is beautiful. Really is beautiful. I mean, I know you already shared your inspiration and everything like that. I mean, this seems like the first of many endeavors. Like, what else do you have going on? Because I just know it has to be beyond this at this point.
Well, there is quite a lot. So we have book 2 coming in a few months. And then I'm going to be doing a book for each child's age, so they can have their own copy without any pictures, just with the information. So probably when they start reading about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I will have those books so they can have the books and hold them, because this main book is not for the kids. It's for the parents. It's a lesson plan of how to teach these lessons to the kids. So there's going to be probably about 20 books here in the future, in the next year, but why not?
Why not, man? Why not? Because it's definitely needed. And again, I know someone else, I haven't spoken with her directly, but I just recently became an author myself. So, I'm in these author groups and everything. And there was a lady that actually wrote about, I guess, I don't know if it's from a trauma aspect, but basically My Body Belongs to Me type of books and whatnot. And I thought that was great as well. So when we got in contact, I thought it was kind of similar, what, you ladies had both wrote about, but it seems like, again, yours seemed to be a totally different, aspect, which I think is great. Because it's not necessarily focusing on, I guess, that part, right? Or it's just kind of like
we definitely touch on that. We definitely touch on that. Yeah. Safety, how to protect your body. Your body is yours. You are in charge, and how to keep it safe. And we go into things, online safety. And again, it's just presenting the facts, and then, the parents can talk about their beliefs on that. But it's opening conversations, many, many, many different types of conversations to initiate them, so parents can have them. And the biggest things right now, you have your 3-year-old, right? You have one. So when you have another one, I swear we lose more brain cells the more kids that we have. And you forget what you taught to who. It's really, really difficult to teach the first the same as you taught the last. And with me, with 5 kids, this is huge just for me to know, okay, I'm going to teach this kid this and this and this and this. It's all spelled out for me. And I'm going to do the same thing for the next kid. And I'm going to teach them the same and be consistent from child to child, because in the process of writing this, I interviewed 126 parents and got kind of their feedback on how they were taught and how they wish they were taught. And I also interviewed my sisters, my oldest sister and my youngest sister. Now, this is really interesting. My oldest sister, I asked her, how did you feel you were educated? Did you get enough information? Did you really understand things? And she's like, oh, yes, I totally got it. They did a great job. My youngest sister, granted, they're 20 years apart and there were 6 kids. Bless my parents. My youngest sister, she was like, I was clueless. I wish I needed so much more information. And it was a really difficult time for me not knowing so much. And I was always that girl who didn't know anything. So my parents, bless their hearts, they were wonderful parents, but it is difficult to teach the same to the first all the way down to the last, because we get distracted, we get tired. So this will really help parents stay on track with each kid.
That's great as well. That's so funny that you say that, because that's something that I feel like happened with me and my sibling. Like my sister is younger than me, and I feel like, not to say that I feel like our parenting was completely different, but there were differences that I could see. I'm just like, how is she getting away with these things? Like, I couldn't even, like, how is this happening? Like, you're the same
Not
people.
fair.
Because you feel like as the oldest, everything is like, and then the younger is like, oh, whatever. It's like, what? So that could be exactly what it is. It's just like, okay, we just trying to live life, trying to raise the kids, you just get, man, it could be a whole bunch of things that lead to that, like you said. So a way to stay on track as a parent, I think that's great as well. So that's just, that's funny, because I totally relate. I'm like, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Also, just for the record, you want to tell the people like where you are and everything like that? Because I know that you were in California, correct?
No, I grew up in California. I grew up near Lake Tahoe, and now I live near Seattle, Washington. Big difference.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you wanted. Oh, I think maybe because you said Pacific time, and I just assumed California for some reason.
It's true. It's a great state, but man, we love it up here. We love it up here in Washington.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm in Georgia, Atlanta, and everything like that. So I just think it's very cool, like the people that I've been able to meet, and just where different people are, and God has just really been moving when it comes to all of this. But I mean, I don't want to be long your time, because I know you're a busy lady. You got other things to do. You're momming out here, authoring. You got 20 more books to work on. So if there's anything that you would love to share with us, just to kind of to leave us with today, to just say, hey, you know what? I want to definitely make sure you all know this. What would that be?
Oh, I just want to reiterate the drive in parents to step up and to start talking about your body. If we want to instill our children this quality of respecting themselves, it's so important that we first respect ourselves. And that's just how we treat ourselves, how we talk about ourselves. How do we refer to our anatomy? Are we shameful when we talk about it? Are we nervous? Or we not even say anatomy? We've got to first respect ourselves if we want to teach that to our children. I just want to normalize talking about our bodies in a sweet way and not in a flashy way. Just, our bodies are miracles. They really are. If you were a doctor and you studied the body for 30 years, everything that you study happens instantaneously every single second of the day, all day long. Like, our bodies are incredible. And the more you understand it, the more you're able to respect it. And I know this will translate down to our children. We just need to have the courage as parents to go and pull up our sleeves and teach.
Hey man, Miss Mandy, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that, man. That is a beautiful point. Thank you so much for your time. I truly enjoy talking to you. We have to have you back one of these old days.
Sure.
Back anytime, just let me know.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Boomer Productions. Do better.
Thank you so much for watching Guys, Sex, and Love. And thank you to Miss Mandi Nuttal for taking out the time to talk to us this evening. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And I hope that it was very informative for you. Parents, let's get a leg up and take control of this conversation. Good night.